In the Ottoman Empire, if the Sultan's mother was alive, she held the title of Valide Sultan and ranked second in protocol after the Sultan, second only to the throne itself. She was highly respected within the state, revered and untouchable, but did not interfere in government administration for personal interests. Valide Sultans used their influence only for charitable works, only for charity, only for mercy, only for the people. This tradition continued until the era of Kösem Sultan, the favorite consort of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, until one woman shifted the balance forever. By strengthening the authority she established within the harem and expanding her power step by step, Kösem Sultan became the founder of the period known as the Sultanate of Women in the Ottoman Empire. In later years, this era was further shaped by the sudden death of Sultan Ahmed I in 1617 at the age of 27, the execution of young Osman II, at only 18, and the death of Sultan Murad IV at 28, after which child princes ascended to the throne, children upon the throne of an empire. These developments led to the dominance of women, particularly royal mothers, in state affairs. One of the major reasons suggested for the empire's decline in this period is the damage caused to state administration by certain women of the harem who pursued personal interests, who maneuvered, who plotted, who schemed, working to secure their son's accession to the throne and to obtain the position of Valide Sultan for themselves. Among these women, Kösem Sultan holds a unique place, singular, unrivaled, unforgettable. During the reigns of her husband, Sultan Ahmed I, her sons Murad IV and Sultan Ibrahim, and her grandson Mehmed IV, she wielded influence over the state for nearly 50 years, half a century of shadowed power. At times, she ruled directly as regent of the empire, known today as Valide Muazzama, the most exalted queen mother, or Valide Mudarim, the honorable queen mother. Kosem Sultan became famous not only for her charitable works, but also for the intrigues she wove inside the palace, threads of mercy and threads of manipulation entwined. Before entering the imperial harem of the Topkapi Palace as a concubine, her origins and early life remain uncertain, lost to history's silence. She is believed to have been either of Greek or Bosnian descent. Born in 1590 under the name Anastasia, she was reportedly sent to Istanbul by the governor of Bosnia to the chief of the girls' eunuchs. Noted for her beauty and intelligence, beauty that dazzled, intelligence that endured, she was admitted to the harem. At the age of 15, she became the Hasiki, chief consort of Sultan Ahmed I, and soon surpassed the senior Hasikis. Because of her beauty, she was given the name Mappiker, meaning moon-faced. An impressive, intelligent, cultured, and ambitious woman, ambitious above all, Kösem Sultan initially stayed out of politics during Ahmed I's reign and focused on charitable activities. However, after becoming a widow at age 27, following the Sultan's sudden death in 1617, she began a struggle, relentless, determined to preserve the privileges and power she had gained through marriage. We see her engaging in palace intrigues and forming alliances with janissary leaders and powerful statesmen, soldiers and statesmen, swords and seals. Although the throne by right belonged to Osman II, the son of Mahfuz Haseki Sultan, Kosem attempted to block his accession in order to promote her own sons and secure her position as Valide Sultan. When she could not stop Osman from becoming Sultan, some historians claim that she later played a role in the process that ultimately led to his execution, a claim that still chills the page of history. When Murad IV ascended the throne in 1622 at only 10 years old, Kösem Sultan finally achieved her goal. As Valide Sultan and regent, she took direct control of the government. During the decade that followed, real power lay largely in the hands of the janissary commanders, not the crown, not the council, but the sword. The empire fell into administrative paralysis, chaos, and serious internal disorder, paralysis of law, chaos of command, disorder of the realm. Once Murad IV freed himself from his mother's guardianship and assumed full authority, his first action was to purge both the janissary leaders and those associated with her in order to repair the damage done to the state. Kosem Sultan was kept away from government affairs until Murad's death at age 28. Afterward, her other son, Sultan Ibrahim, ascended the throne. and she once again returned to politics, ruling as regent for another 8.5 years. During Ibrahim's reign, later misremembered as Mad Ibrahim despite misconceptions about his mental health, Kösem Sultan effectively held power once more. When Ibrahim began to slip beyond her control, she obtained a religious decree, fatwa, from the Sheikh al-Islam declaring him insane, deposed him and confined him to a sealed room. Believing that his continued survival posed a threat to her power, she ordered his strangulation 10 days later by the chief executioner Kara Ali, and thus history records the unthinkable. Kosem Sultan became the killer of her own son. She later also played a role in placing her grandson Mehmed IV on the throne. When Mehmed IV ascended the throne at age 6, his mother Turhan Sultan should normally have assumed the regency as Valide Sultan. However, Kosem retained the position. A fierce rivalry soon arose, grandmother against mother, age against youth, ambition against ambition. Kosem attempted to have Mehmed poisoned so she could depose Turhan Sultan and enthrone another grandson, Prince Suleiman, the 9-year-old son of Salih Dilasub Sultan, whom she believed she could control more easily. This plot failed when officials loyal to Turhan Sultan intervened in time. On the night of September 3rd, 1651, Kosem Sultan's chambers were raided. She was strangled with a curtain cord and murdered, silenced by silk. All her allies within the palace and the Janissary ranks were also executed. Mapaiker Kösem Sultan holds a unique place in Ottoman history, unique in contradiction. Within the palace, she was known as immensely ambitious and highly influential. Outside the palace, she was loved as the charitable Valide Sultan of the people. Among them, she was called the Hand of Khidr, a symbol of divine mercy. When she died, the people of Istanbul mourned her for 40 days. She sought out orphaned girls, provided them with education, and arranged their marriages. She paid off the debts of prisoners, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, and secured their release. The hungry of Istanbul were fed through soup kitchens she established. She personally toured the city, distributing alms and charity to the poor identified by her agents. She is also known to have granted regular stipends to those in need. Among her major charitable foundations were the Sinili Mosque in Uskudar, Anadolu Kavagi on the Bosphorus, the Valide Medrese Mosque near Sultan Selim. In Ottoman history, Kösem Sultan is the only Valide Sultan ever executed, alone in both power and death. While some historians argue that her intrigues inflicted great damage on the empire, others maintain that she acted as necessary under the conditions of her time and emphasize her vast legacy of charity. Judge her as history may, her name still refuses to fade. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. See you in the next episode.